Have you ever failed so many times that you started believing failure was who you were? Have you ever tried, given your effort, put in your time, and still watched everything fall apart? It's painful, because when failure repeats itself, it doesn't just affect results, it affects identity. You begin to think, maybe I'm not meant to succeed. Maybe others are simply better. Maybe this is my destiny. But what if I told you something powerful today? Your destiny does not begin with your circumstances. It begins with your thinking. Stay with me, because this story is about a man whose life was defined by failure until one shift in perspective changed everything. And it might change how you see your own struggles too. In a crowded industrial city filled with smoke, machinery, and endless competition lived a 36-year-old man named Aaron. Aaron wasn't unintelligent, he wasn't lazy, he wasn't careless, but he carried one heavy label. He was known as the man who always failed. He tried opening a small grocery stall. It closed within months. He invested in a friend's printing business. It collapsed. He attempted freelance work. Clients disappeared. Each failure stacked on top of the last, and over time, something dangerous happened. Aaron stopped seeing failure as an event and started seeing it as identity. "I'm just unlucky," he would say. "I'm not built for success." Eventually, he stopped trying altogether. He took a low-pay warehouse job and settled into routine survival. Clock in, clock out. Avoid risks, avoid dreams. It felt safer that way. But safety is not the same as fulfillment, and deep down, he knew it. One evening after work, Aaron sat alone on a bus ride home. Rain tapped softly against the windows. His reflection stared back at him, tired, resigned, defeated. He whispered quietly, "When did I stop believing in myself?" That question stayed with him, not loud, not dramatic, just persistent, like a seed waiting to grow. Weeks later, something unexpected happened. A temporary supervisor was assigned to Aaron's warehouse team, an older woman named Clara. She was observant, calm, direct. Within days, she noticed something about Aaron. He worked carefully. He solved small problems quietly. He helped others without being asked. Yet he avoided responsibility, avoided leadership, avoided growth. One afternoon, she asked him, "Aaron, why don't you apply for the operations training program?" He laughed. "Like people like me don't get those roles." Clara tilted her head. "People like you?" Aaron shrugged. "I fail. That's just how it is." She didn't argue. She simply said something he would never forget. "Failure is feedback. Identity is choice," and walked away. That sentence unsettled him. Failure is feedback. Identity is choice. That night, he replayed his past, his failed grocery business. He never studied pricing strategy. His failed investment. He never researched partnerships. His freelance attempts. He never built consistent communication. Patterns began to appear. He hadn't been cursed. He had been unprepared. Failure wasn't destiny. It was information. And for the first time in years, Aaron's thinking shifted. He applied for the training program, not with confidence, but with curiosity. He didn't get accepted immediately. Instead, he was placed on a waiting list. Old thoughts returned. See, nothing changes. But this time, he caught them. He remembered Clara's words, feedback, not identity. So he asked the program coordinator, "What skills should I improve?" They gave him a list: organization, digital inventory tools, communication reporting. Instead of quitting, Aaron studied. 30 minutes daily, nothing dramatic, just consistency. 3 months later, he applied again. This time, he was accepted. Training wasn't easy. He struggled with software, made mistakes in reports, felt behind others. But something had changed.
He no longer interpreted mistakes as proof of failure. He saw them as part of learning. His thinking had rewired his reaction, and reaction shapes persistence. Persistence shapes outcome. Within a year, Aaron became a shift coordinator. Not wealthy, not famous, but transformed. Because the real change wasn't the promotion, it was perspective. He began setting new goals, managing money intentionally, learning leadership skills. He even volunteered to mentor new hires who doubted themselves. One of them asked him, "How did you stop being afraid of failing?" Aaron smiled. "I didn't stop failing. I stopped letting failure define me." Years passed. Aaron advanced further. Team manager, regional supervisor. Eventually, he launched a logistics consulting service based on his experience. The same man who once believed he was destined to fail was now guiding businesses on efficiency and growth. Not because luck changed, not because talent suddenly appeared, because thinking changed. One evening, Aaron returned to the warehouse as a guest speaker. Standing before workers who reminded him of his past self, he shared, "Failure isn't a wall, it's a mirror. It reflects what needs improvement, not what must end. If you think you are defeated, you will stop. If you think you are learning, you will grow." He paused, looking across the room. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your direction, and direction shapes destiny. My friend, this story is not about Aaron alone. It's about anyone who has ever mistaken temporary failure for permanent limitation. Let's be honest, life will knock you down. Plans will collapse. Efforts will disappoint. That is unavoidable. But interpretation, that is your power. You can say, "I failed, therefore I'm finished." Or you can say, "I failed, therefore I've learned." The first ends growth. The second begins transformation. Here's the truth most people never realize. Your thinking becomes your filter. If you believe opportunity exists, you will look for it. If you believe improvement is possible, you will pursue it. If you believe failure defines you, you will stop trying. Destiny isn't written in events, it's written in perception. So here is your challenge today. Think of one recent failure. Instead of labeling it loss, ask, what did it teach me? What skill did it expose? What strategy needs adjustment? Write the answers down, because reflection converts pain into progress, and progress reshapes identity. Aaron didn't become successful overnight. He changed something far more powerful. He changed how he interpreted reality. And once thinking changed, destiny followed. If this story spoke to you, take a moment now. Hit like as a commitment to growth. Comment one mindset you're ready to shift. Share this with someone battling discouragement, and subscribe for more stories that don't just inspire, but transform how you think. Remember this always. Your thoughts are not small things. They are architects. Change your thinking, and you change your path. Change your path, and you change your destiny. And that change begins today.